This is Wild About Whiskey, your go-to place to find out what's cool, cutting edge, and current in the whiskey world.
Whoa!
We're going on an adventure to the wonderlands of whiskey and meet the experts whose passion for whiskey goes beyond the boundaries of tradition. So join me on this wild ride. I'm Carrie Keagan, and this is Wild About Whiskey. Denver, the Mile High City. A city that boasts over 300 days of sunshine a year, where even the coldest days can be warmed up with their red-hot food, music, and outdoor scene. And in the city of Denver is a distillery that's doing things just a bit different than the rest. Experts in handcrafted small batch whiskey, Stranahan's was founded by George Stranahan and Jess Graver in 2004 and was the first company to legally produce whiskey in Colorado since Prohibition. These days, Stranahan's is considered one of the premier craft whiskey distilleries in the entire country. And like any trip to a new city, we'll explore the culture, the people, and of course, the whiskey of Denver, Colorado. Before I head to Stranahan's, I have to at least do something a little wild. Today I'm making friends at Shiloh Farms. I mean, how incredible are these animals? And how Colorado is this? Hi. Are we gonna go for a little ride today?
Sure.
Oh, I'm getting kisses.
I would love to.
Look at me, I'm riding a horse.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Yeah, you're doing great.
Okay, it wasn't super wild, but it was fun. Now let's go drink some whiskey. It's time to visit our friends at Stranahan's and see what all the buzz is about. The master!
Hey, Carrie. Welcome to Stranahan's.
Nice to meet you, Owen.
Come on in. We got plenty to show you. I'm Owen Martin, head distiller at Stranahan's Colorado Whiskey. This is our general store, so...
Anything but general.
Yeah. Well, denim goods, leather goods, plenty of whiskey, obviously.
As it should be, right? I notice you have some dog leashes here. You know, I have a dog,
Yeah,
but her name's Moonshine.
seems pretty perfect.
Okay, good. Excellent. Take me on a tour.
Yeah, let's go. Stranahan's is an American single malt, which just means we are 100% malted barley, as opposed to corn or rye or most American whiskeys are made out of. We basically mill that barley into a coarse flour. That flour gets transported across here into the mash tun. That gets combined with hot water, and that starch from the barley starts getting converted to sugar. We strain that sugar off and into the boil kettle, give it a quick boil, and then we'll eventually send it off into the fermenters where that sugar can get converted to alcohol by the yeast.
Amazing. I noticed there's a whirlpool over there. Is that kind of the spa for the barley?
Sort of. It's just a place where we can hold that barley liquid, or wort in brewer's terms, before it gets sent into the fermenters. When you're fermenting, you're creating alcohol, most importantly. The yeast is eating the sugar, creating alcohol, but it also creates heat, so these are all jacketed, and then it creates carbon dioxide. So that's what you're seeing flow out of there right now.
Oh wow, it's like a little volcano, and it does smell like beer now.
Right. So you had your barley smells over there, your beer smells over here, and then you get more into your whiskey smells as we go down the line.
All right, let's keep going
Yeah.
then.
So we do a double distillation here at Stranahan's, more kind of like what you'd see in Scotch or Irish whiskey production. So these are our stripping stills. We charge that with that 7.5% beer I was talking about, and that alcohol gets vaporized off, right? So the whole basis behind distillation is that alcohol has a lower boiling point than water and other things in the wash. And so if we carefully control the steam on them, then what boils off is the alcohol predominantly. So we're able to capture that through these vertical condensers here. That alcohol steam boils off, hits those, condenses. So you can see that over here. We go from about 7.5% alcohol to what comes off there's about 40% alcohol.
Oh wow.
But that's only the intermediate step. Then we
Okay.
charge the spirit stills.
You mean it gets better?
I know, double distillation. So we charge that with 40% alcohol. What comes off of the spirit stills is about 70% alcohol. So essentially like moonshine at that point.
Okay, well she'll be happy.
Right, exactly. We will then cut that down in the next room, and then we slowly put that into the barrel where it's gonna sit for 4 more years and then become our whiskey.
You know that this is like a whiskey lover's dream right here to just
Absolutely.
watch it coming out of the funnel that way.
Yeah, this is every day for me.
You have the best life.
So let's go check out the barrels.
Absolutely.
The smelling tour will continue.
Oh, good. I think this is awesome.
So this
I
is
could
our,
live here.
Yeah, I do pretty much. So this is our Blue Peak. This is our kind of intro to Stranahan's, intro to American single malt. You know, it's a lower proof, 43% ABV, so it's a little bit easier on the palate than some of our bigger whiskeys.
She's a starter whiskey.
Starter whiskey, but should be nice and light. 4 or 5 year old whiskey in there.
It's a little caramel, got a little honey maybe
Yep.
in there.
Honey, caramel, toffee. Whiskey just means a distilled spirit made from grain, right? So that's the umbrella term. Each grain is going to have its individual whiskey associated with it. So think bourbon is corn, rye whiskey is rye, obviously, and then single malt is malted barley. So that's kind of our own unique little subcategory of whiskey. We're one of the only a few producers in the US that make it. This is the youngest whiskey, all the way up to 10. Unlike other single malts, like Scottish and Irish malts, they reuse barrels. We only use the barrel once. So you can see here, this is a stave, so one individual stave that makes up the barrel. You can see the char on it. So all these barrels come from a company in Ozarks area, Missouri. Fantastic barrel maker. So they pretty much construct the barrel, and the last thing they do is they stick a flamethrower in the barrel and char the surface.
That is so rock and roll.
Yeah, have you heard of angel share?
Yes.
It's the share of the whiskey that goes to the angels. So we actually lose a certain amount as evaporation every year. So that's pushing into the wood, but it actually pushes all the way out and then evaporates out.
Well, I think that's unfair that the wood gets to drink it before us. Do we get to try that one too?
I think we should.
I think we should too.
Then we can transition into our distillery exclusive release. So this is only available at the distillery. Basically kind of our ongoing experimentation with different types of and styles of whiskey. So this is actually our Rum Cask Release. So
Ooh.
don't be confused, it's still American single malt whiskey. But what we did is we took 4 and 5 year old Stranahans and then we put them into empty rum barrels. And so you really kind of infuse that sort of lighter tropical flavor from the rum into the whiskey. So a little bit higher ABV,
Yep.
45%.
Okay.
A little bit of water in there will help open up the aroma, but you'll get a ton of that tropical flavor, the fruity flavor from the rum.
I do love the color of whiskey. I think that's such a big part of the experience.
So you almost want to chew that. It's called the Chattanooga chew. You're kind of chewing it, coating every surface of your mouth, really getting all those flavor receptors
That
acclimated.
is totally different.
Right.
This is like that one on vacation.
Sure. That's a fantastic way to put it. I'm going to steal that.
You can. That's all for you.
So, tools of the trade. We have the bung popper. Yeah, pretty good name, huh? And then
You
our
made
whiskey
that
thief.
up.
I did just make that up.
A whiskey thief?
Yes. So we're gonna take that out, and then we'll actually thief in, pull the whiskey out, and that's how we sample it, check the ABV, make sure the sensory is where we want it to
I
be.
used to do that with my straw.
Yeah, same idea. All right, you ready?
I am ready. Oh, that's cool. Whoa!
There you go.
Okay, that smells really nice.
Unlike what we were trying earlier, these are at cask strength, so this is the whiskey coming out of the cask, right? So the other ones we'd cut with our Rocky Mountain spring water, so 43%, 45%. This thing's gonna be almost at 60% alcohol.
Okay, it's a party in a barrel.
It is a party in a barrel. So we got our whiskey thief, thiefing it right out. See gorgeous dark color on that.
That is so orange.
All right. Take a whiff of that.
I love this color so much. That's strong. So good though.
Yeah, super flavorful, huh?
That's so good.
So yeah, this barrel, this could be a candidate for our blue label, yellow label, or if we gave it longer, put an age statement on it. I think it's about 5 years old, so another 5 years, we could put it as a 10-year-old. We got a lot of options. It's tasting great so far.
What would you like to be? What I heard. Oh, you want to be an angel? Yeah, is that right? I think she wants to be an angel.
It's halfway there, so go have a sample of it.
Yep, think we should go. Yep, bye. Okay. Today, we have the honor and privilege of tasting a whiskey that has just over 500 bottles made per year and takes over 10 years to make.
So unlike the rum cask and other things, we've experimented with, this one is just the new charred barrel, 10 years with our malt distillate and some Rocky Mountain snow melt.
Am I allowed to touch it? I feel like this is sort of the...
Have at it. I usually say that Stranahan's usually falls somewhere between Scotch and bourbon in the flavor profile.
Yeah.
And with this being 10 years in the new barrel, it definitely is the most bourbon-y of our releases.
And this is one of how many bottles?
So 600 bottles this year. Next year we'll get a little bit bigger, but right now it's still very limited.
Have you ever dropped a bottle?
No.
Oh,
I've dropped a barrel, but not a bottle.
You dropped a barrel? Whoa.
Forklifting's hard sometimes.
Yes. Cheers to 10 years.
Yes, ma'am. So that malt's kind of almost in the backseat at this point. A lot of tobacco, oak, and those flavors we just talked about.
And it's strong.
Yes, 47.3% ABV.
It literally just took my breath away. It's so good. I absolutely love it. And I am so honored that you let me share this with you.
Well, cheers.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
This has been incredible.
Yeah, it's been great.
And I
having
know
you.
that there's going to be a lot of people that will be very mad at me that I got to do this and they didn't.
This is only the beginning. There's more to come.
I do need to see the rest of Denver. I want to go hiking.
Yep.
Can you recommend a good hike?
Well, there's a beautiful little spot, not even a half hour from here in Morrison, Colorado, where a lot of cool bands play, but even during the day, it's worth a hike. It's called Red Rocks Amphitheater.
Wow, Red Rocks is absolutely incredible. Owen was right. I mean, this place is literally rock and roll. And it's only 10 miles from Denver. I need to explore the whole place. You see that one? That looks like a dinosaur head. So cool. So join me next time at another distillery in another city. Are you ready to get wild? Wild about whiskey.